Hello, children. Welcome to the second chapter of social science, which is our climate. Did you notice the day today? What kind of a day it is? Is it bright, sunny? Is it rainy or cloudy? Is it different from yesterday or day before? All right, what about the seasons? Are we experiencing summer or winter, spring or autumn? Ponder over these questions, and while you brainstorm, please jot down in points the answers to these questions. Well, our topic for today is weather and climate. What is weather? As you can see on the screen before you, it's a short-term variation in atmosphere. For example, if I say weather was good yesterday, so I'm talking about a condition which is for a particular day. On the contrary, we have a climate, which is a weather condition over a longer period of time. For example, climate change has become a burning issue worldwide. Nowadays, we are talking about global warming as well, aren't we? There are places which are affected around the world because of the global warming, isn't it? So, weather refers to a short time, duration in atmosphere, whereas climate refers to a weather condition which is for a longer period of time. Now, let us have a look at few more differences between weather and climate. Weather is a short-term state of the atmosphere, whereas climate is a long-term pattern of weather, right? So weather might change from time to time. Let's take an example. Let's say this morning you got up to experience a pleasant morning. Then the afternoon became very hot, and all of a sudden in the evening it began to rain. In return, dipping the temperature and making the evening again pleasant. So you see here, children, that during the day, in a duration of 24 hours, you have experienced different weather conditions. It's not the same throughout the day. So during the day or from hour to hour, the weather condition is changing. Likewise, it might differ from one place to another. Let's say you have a friend in Missouri or in Darjeeling, and you call him or her up and check the weather condition of that particular day and compare it with the weather conditions of Kolkata. You will experience that the temperature in Darjeeling or in Missouri will be relatively lower compared to that of Kolkata. So Darjeeling and Missouri will experience colder weather conditions while Kolkata experiences warmer weather conditions. So a change in location changes the weather as well. We get the weather report every day in the newspapers, right? Please do have a look into the newspaper, or you may also check the news on television to check the weather forecast. And that changes from time to time and from day to day. That's why we have the weather report, right, of that particular day. The newspaper or the news in on the television gives you a record of the weather condition in various places. On the contrary, climate remains more or less the same for years altogether, right? Again, take example of Bengaluru. It's a city in Karnataka. It was at one point of time called the air-conditioned city. Can you say why? Because the climatic conditions in this place used to be pleasant throughout the year. Whichever month you went there, it used to be very pleasant. But unfortunately, nowadays, because of the global warming, the temperature there also is rising, right? The population is increasing and it is impacting the earth. Understood? So, more or less, the climatic conditions in a particular place, they remain more or less the same throughout the year, while the weather conditions, they change, they vary depending upon the time and the location of a particular place. So as we go higher, the temperature falls down, and as we come down to the plains, the temperature increases, right? We'll study more about the factors in the second session of this chapter. Now, depending on the weather conditions, our lifestyle also changes, right? If the climate is hot in a particular place, we wear light colored clothes. We prefer wearing cotton. On the contrary, if it is a very cold place, like in Himachal Pradesh, we wear warm clothes like sweaters, firans. At the same time, our food habits also differ. If it's summers, what do we usually feel like having? Yes, we have a craving for chilled ice cream, don't we? Yes, but in winters we feel like having something warm, maybe a cup of hot coffee or a hot chocolate milkshake, right? So our lifestyle changes depending upon the weather conditions that we are experiencing or the seasons that we experience in a particular place. So different kind of climatic conditions in a particular place gives us different kinds of seasons. So let us study about these seasons. Have a look at this picture now. What does this indicate? You can see a small sapling and you can see the earth which has dried up. It is parched. What does it lack? Can you think? Yes, it lacks water, right? So it means that this place is somewhere where there is very little, yes, come on, quick, very little rainfall. So basically we have three seasons in our country. we experience summer, we experience winter and monsoons. So in the previous picture, we saw the earth which was parched due to lack of water, less rainfall, that leads to drought. Okay, you can see the highlighted word DROUGHT, drought. It is a condition of land where there is scarcity of water due to lesser rainfall or lack of water or irrigation facilities. Winters. You know what winters are? It's a season of cold climatic conditions, right? So you usually experience winters from November up till February, but in certain parts of the country you might experience winters even in the month of March. Yes, and December and January are considered to be the coldest months of the year. And during winters, you'll always experience that the nights are longer than the days. And it is the opposite in summers. In summers, you'll find the days are very, very long, whereas the nights are very short. Right? Now, while the plains might experience extreme climatic conditions, even in winters or in summers, but the coastal regions, you remember which are the coastal regions? The states which lie along the coast. They experience pleasant weather conditions. They are neither too hot nor are they too cold, because the winds from these regions, that is from the sea, we have the southern part of India, which is the peninsular region. So we are surrounded by the Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal. Right? So winds from over these seas, they carry with them a lot of moisture, right? That is the water vapor. And they bring in cold air towards the land. So making the temperatures pleasant. So the regions along the coast are neither too hot nor too cold. Is it clear, children? Summers, the opposite of winters. It's very hot during this season. These usually begin from March and it ends in June. It gets very hot in April and May, and contrary to winters, we experience longer days and the nights to be shorter. Right? And in certain regions, you'll also find very hot and dry winds, which are called loose. It flows from these regions, making the conditions even more unbearable. Okay, and in Rajasthan, it's very common to experience dust storms. Right? Well, now, what are dust storms? You know, children, that the sand in Rajasthan, it's loose, right? Because of scarcity of water. So, whenever the wind blows, it carries with it the soil. So, this soil gets eroded. Eroded means it gets carried away by the wind. So, the strong movement of wind in the Rajasthan region causes dust storms. So these are very common and these can be very risky also for the travelers. The last is the monsoon. Monsoon indicates the rainy season, the season when it rains. Do we all like rain? Some of us do, while others don't, isn't it? So, it begins in July and it continues till the middle of November. Now, these monsoon winds have a major impact along the coastal region, right? So winds blow from the Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal towards the land. They are called the monsoon winds and they carry a lot of moisture with them. This causes rainfall in most parts of the country, right? At the same time, there are places like Meghalaya which experience very heavy rainfall. If some of you must have been to Meghalaya, right? So you might have experienced rainfall over there. So the rainfall could be somewhere between 800 centimeters to 1000 centimeters annually, which is the highest recorded rainfall in India, right? To the contrary, in Rajasthan, we have very poor amount of rainfall. There's hardly any rainfall. That's why the earth there remains parched or the sand is too dry to even get connected to the land, right? The only state which experiences rainfall during the winter season is Tamil Nadu. While all other states they have rainfall between June and September, but Tamil Nadu has rainfall in the months when it experiences winter, and that is from November to January. So anytime between these months it will experience rainfall. Is that clear, children? Now a quick recap of what we have studied today. We studied about the weather and climate and the difference between the two. And we also studied about the different seasons in our country. And which are these? These are winter, summer, and monsoon, right? And we have studied the basic conditions in each of these seasons. So children, please complete the exercise which is attached to it after going through the presentation very, very carefully. That is for today. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.